So hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my garage. Today what we're working on is snowblower. It's my neighbor's snowblower. He says it runs, kind of doesn't want to run. So we'll go over it, see what's going on with it, see if we can't get her fixed up for him. So first I just like to go over things, just to know what I'm getting into. Check the belts, the chains, the scraping edge, and then also just maintenance stuff on the engine. Make sure the electric start works. Check the spark plug. While I have the spark plug out, look down in there. Look in the cylinder. See if there's a bunch of carbon buildup. Just see what you can see through that spark plug hole anyway. Check the oil. See if there's any filings in the oil. Look at the gas. Give it a whiff, see if it's rotten or not. So that's just a couple things I'm going to go over right now. First thing I can see is the scraping edge is definitely going to need to be adjusted. To get into the belts, check them out quick. Take 2 bolts off, and we'll be in there pretty easily. It does have some belt buildup in there. Probably wouldn't hurt to use some new ones. Maybe I'll get another season or 2 out of them though. They look okay. Spin this one around to get a better look at it the whole way around. Yeah, it looks about the same the whole way around. We'll pop that cover back on. Next thing we can do is just check out the spark plug and the fuel. See what for condition the fuel's in, if we have to drain that out. Spark plug doesn't look too bad. Fuel didn't smell rotten either. It should probably be gapped somewhere around 28, 32 thousandths, somewhere around there, and it's right at 32. Looks to be running clean and in good shape. Valves are opening and closing. Normal carbon deposits, nothing crazy. Normal on top of the piston. Yeah, looks good in there. We'll put him back in. Let's plug in the electric start. Since I seen the motor turned over, let's plug in an electric start, see if that works and how it turns over. No, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't work good at all. Nope, that's not working good at all. Get a little rubber mallet and give it a bump. Nope. Well, let's pull that starter out of there. See if maybe we can just take the starter apart and get it cleaned up. Since it did kind of want to turn over, but then it stopped. What happens is the brushes wear out. The contact, where the brushes contact on the comb, they get dirty. So you can take a piece of emery and clean them up. A lot of times that's all it needs is just a cleaning. You can throw everything back together, lube the bushings, and then you need to buy a new starter. So we'll just unbolt the starter quick. And go from there. Oh my. Missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teeth. You gotta see that on. That's definitely not going to be good. So not only is the starter not wanting to spin, it's missing 7 teeth on the drive gear. We'll plug it in here while we have it out, see if it spins over. Air's wanting to spin. Not very good though. It's missing and carrying on. There, it just quit spinning. Yeah, so that'll need torn apart, clean, bush bearing or brushes replaced, and a new gear for sure. Well, we don't have any of that stuff here, so we'll have to look into that a different day. We'll keep puttering around here, see what else we find. It always has the pull start back up, so you can always start it with a pull start. Older people might have a hard time pull starting these. That's why they put the option on there. The electric start. Let's adjust this cutting edge while we're here. How we do them? With a wrench, a couple washers. You'll take and on the sides you'll have the guides. You'll loosen them up and bring them up the whole way on both sides. And you can tighten it back up. Now we can adjust the blade. And some people like to run their blades different heights. I usually put 16th inch washers under my blade because most driveways aren't completely flat. They might look completely flat, but they'll have a slight wave to them. So to account for that slight wave, so you're not digging up or grinding into your driveway, you put the washers under there. It keeps this blade up a 16th of an inch, and then you're not scraping the top off your driveway, not ruining your blade. on the snowblower. So what there'll be four nuts in the back. Just gonna loosen them up. Maybe a half a turn or a full turn. Enough to be able to get the blade to move. Alright, let's see if we can move the blade now. Yep, we can move it now. So now what we do is we set the blade on the garage floor. You need to do this on a flat surface. Make sure your tires both have the same air pressure in them. That way that doesn't give you a different result after you air your tires up. So the blade's down on the garage floor. So now we go and tighten these nuts back up. Get the other side. All right, blade's tight. Now those guides that we loosened up, pulled the whole way up, and tightened them back up, got to get them out of our way. Now we can loosen them back up again. And we take our washers. We're going to set our washers under the blade. On both sides. And after you have your washers in place, you go and tighten up the guides. And then they'll keep, these guides will keep the blade a 1/16 inch off of your driveway now. Alright, and there it is. Perfect. Let's drain the carburetor out. See what we get out of that guy. There it is. See if we get any dirt that comes out. A lot of times when I'm buying these carburetors, lawnmowers, and these snow throwers, there's just a little button you push, and it leaks all the fuel out on your finger while you're holding the button. But it empties out the bowl. Yeah, I got some water out of it. In fact, that's why he was having a rough time running it. Water always goes to the bottom of petroleum. That's why you always see, like if a car's leaking oil on the road, you always see like a rainbow, and that rainbow is always on top of water. Well, gas is the same way. Gas goes over top of the water, and the water sinks to the bottom, and it gives you little beads, and then those beads just come together and they come in one big pool. So yeah, I'm gonna drain that the whole way out, get rid of this. Put a clamp on the fuel line. These don't have a fuel shut off. Usually it's a good idea to install a fuel shut off on them. Drain the carburetor out the whole way. Alright, it's empty now. I must have got all that water the first time. I drained it there for a little bit because I don't have any water now. That's good then. Now that the carburetor's empty, we can flip this thing up on its end and we'll be able to look at the gears and the belts underneath. Since the carburetor is empty, we shouldn't get too much fuel spillage on the floor. For the gas tank though, what I do is I just take a simple little plastic bag like this, take the cap off, put the bag over the tank, and then spin it back on. And that seals up the tank for when we flip this thing up one end to check the belts. So now what we're going to do, there's 4 bolts on this belly pan. I already had them loosened up. We'll just take them out. We'll look at the chain. Should be a couple chains underneath, the sprockets, everything that makes this thing go. Everything looks pretty normal. The normal rusted, never been lubed look. No bushings are wore out or anything though. And the sprockets look wore out. The normal wear, but not wore out. Yeah, it will need some belts there sometime. Hopefully it'll get through this season, maybe next season. Let's get some lube and spray on those chains. All I have is probably about the best chain lube you can get for power sports. So it ought to be good enough for just a simple snowblower, right? So much smoother already. Well, we're done in there. Everything looks pretty good. Don't have dry chains anymore. We'll throw the pelly pan back on. Where did my ratchet go? Really stinks that starter's in such bad shape. They're probably not cheap for this. Sure, there's some cheap knockoffs. A lot of times that stuff's just junk. Usually you want to make sure the engine runs first before you go through the effort of setting up the machine to run good. I'm pretty confident that it's going to run good though. Alright, now we'll flip this bad guy back over. Careful with the toes. Get rid of our makeshift cap sealer. But we didn't even spill a drop of gas. That was a pretty good idea you guys had. I'm gonna have to use that. Alright, we'll take our clamp off the fuel line, let the carburetor fill back up. Check out this engine oil. Oh yeah. It probably hasn't been changed since about 2005. Just dirty though, I don't see any metallic. Well, but the next thing we can do is let's take it out front and see if it starts, see how it runs. Go from there. There was water that came out of the carburetor, so maybe that was the only issue. I don't know, we'll see. Let's go. I don't know, what do you guys think? You think it's gonna run? How much choke you think we're gonna need? It's probably about 20 degrees out or so. About 70 in the garage. I should probably put a coat on. Let's just see if she runs. tell you what, you can't get much easier than that. Started one pull, revs, idles. Yeah, what do we have left to do? Let's change the oil, and then we got to get that starter situation figured out. Probably have to order a starter. Sometimes you can order parts to rebuild the starter. Might be, I don't know, the price on them, they can get pretty high. This machine might not be worth doing that. Might just want to keep the pull start and go from there. But we'll see what my neighbor says. Maybe he'll want to get into fixing it. But let's get back inside and drop some oil. Alright, now we're going to get rid of some of that rotten oil. Yeah. That's coming out all kinds of thick and nasty. That might take about 4 to 5 weeks to get drained out of there. Nah, I'm just messing. It is going to take a while though. That's rough. Alright guys, well while that oil's still draining, I got with the neighbor and he's not worried about the electric start. So we're just going to go ahead and bolt this guy back in there. And he's just going to pull starter. I mean, you see him, it pull started in one pull. So she'll be a runner. He shouldn't have any issues starting it. There we go. Excuse me, you're in the way there. Looks like our oil's finally done draining. Let's see if I have anything around here that isn't racing oil. Oh yeah, we got the good old Walmart Super Tech. It'll love that. Tape, put a little bit of thread tape around where the drain plug pipe is. That's all pipe thread. What color is that? Ooh, that stuff's rough. Well, all I got left to do to this is just top it off with oil. So if you guys like hanging out in the garage with me today, want to see me getting into more stuff, always doing something, always something fun. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and make sure your notifications are on. You'll get notified whenever I upload another. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. See ya.